What happens when cabbies take charge and control their own destiny? More importantly, does democratic rule offer more or less flexibility when things go sideways? I don't know, like the rise of ride-hailing services or a pandemic? A couple of months ago, we had talked about a co-op in New York City, that was being created to actually compete against Uber and Lyft that was driver controlled. What if I told you about another cooperative that's been around since 1979? What would you say to that?
It was really cool when I read about it.
Mm-hmm. In Madison, Wisconsin, the name of the outfit is called the Union Cab Cooperative. And what happened is a group of cabbies worked for a cab company, and in 1979, they attempted to unionize, and instead of recognizing the union, the employer shut the company down. Somehow, they scraped together money from friends and family to buy some cabs, radio equipment, permits, and insurance. Somehow they scraped together about $150,000 in 1979. That's a lot of money. Still a lot of money. Today, that co-op has 157 members, 109 which primarily are drivers, and it has managed to maintain its footing through more than one upheaval in Madison's car transportation sector. They are considered the granddaddy of the co-op cab business, actually, and they're one of three. The other two, there's one, I'm trying to think, down south somewhere, and then the one that we talked about earlier in New York. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But here's the question. Is going co-op, do you think maybe, is the way for cab companies to survive this upheaval in transportation? I mean, Uber and Lyft, it cut into their business too. But the funny thing is, Uber's spotty service, surge pricing, and the like has brought people back to them.
And they're bad companies.
Well, they're throwing money at a problem. They're not making any money. Lyft and Uber are not making any money. This co-op was designed to pay the drivers a decent wage and make money. And for the most part, they've accomplished both.
And Uber and Lyft are trying to do everything to stop that.
Well, to be honest, Uber's original mission
was to survive till autonomous, right?
Yeah, they had no intentions of having a future with a driver.
Yeah.
Now they've backed away from that
trying to scrape every right a worker has.
Well, that's a whole nother thing too. And California kind of stopped them there.
Stopped them. They got it passed in California. Uber and Lyft got it passed. The prop, they got it passed.
That pass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
well, California had stepped up for a while. I didn't realize it went the other way.
It passed.
Yeah. Well, in the meanwhile, here's the thing. Union Cab wants its drivers to earn a minimum of $12 to $13 an hour, so it just can't give out shifts to everyone who might be available at any part of the day. Their words, it's a calculation you need to make when you have an internal wage standard and you need to earn positive net income as a business. Unlike Uber and Lyft, neither of which have yet to become a profitable business. Again, from the article, the two ride-hailing giants still burn through billions of dollars in cash from investors every year, constantly losing money as they continue to push for growth, gambling that they will return to a profit after they've eliminated all other competition. That is a fool's errand. Because what's going to happen, if your service is lousy and your model is broken, then you're going to basically fund the rise of startups. And we've seen that in other cities. Where either you're going to have other companies with ride sharing or car sharing. There are other models that will supplant ride hailing. In fact, like Uber and Union Cab's doing the same thing, it seems the savior for these companies now is this Medicare transporting older folks to the doctor and back for non-emergency rides, like to appointments and labs and things like that.
Vaccines probably now.
Also, and we talked about this earlier in a previous show, where They could be used to help supplant smaller public transportation systems over micro-transit or routes that were lightly traveled, where running a bus across that route doesn't make economic sense. But for the few people who need that transportation to the local bus stop to interface with the system, it might make it better for them to get an Uber from their location to the nearest bus station, or bus stop or train stop or whatever. So they've done it. And they've been doing it for a very long time. And what they've got a board of directors. They've got drivers on the board. They have votes. Drivers get to vote up or down on major proposals. Also, Union Cab had an IT department in the mid-1980s to develop stuff. They've been proactive in a lot of ways and in a lot of examples, which we don't have time to get into now.
They had an app in like 2017, which, for a taxi company, that's not nothing.
This company has actually been at the forefront of solutions as things go on. That's helped actually the whole cab industry in the city of Madison, if not the whole state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think it's the way forward for more equitable returns for the drivers, which they deserve, because Uber and Lyft puts it all on the driver. Basically, it's all on you. Your vehicle, your insurance, your this, your that. And you're not getting paid very much either. They
were smart enough in the 1990s to actually invest in the kind of vehicles that they were going to need to transport people to and from medical appointments and stuff, some 20 to 25 years before now, and at least 10 to 15 years before Lyft and Uber.
Yeah.
The problem is the pandemic and Lyft and Uber has cut into their business. They're down, but not out. And that's the important thing. We talked about maybe a year and a half ago, even before the pandemic, how Uber and Lyft were basically bankrupting cab companies in big metropolitan cities. We're going broke because of the change in how people were looking at catching a ride that wasn't public transportation. It would be interesting to note if this co-op idea bears fruit or grows beyond New York and Madison and this other place. And I wish I could find it. I want to say New Orleans, but I don't think it is.
I hope so.
Hold on. I want to see if I can find it because there was a couple of different places. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Baltimore, Washington. Anytime Union Taxi. It was formed in 2018 as a worker-owned cooperative with licenses for a 50-car fleet in 2018. Its core business is publicly funded medical transportation. That's how they're doing it. That's awesome. Yeah. So, and here's the thing. They're trying to, Union Cab, they're trying to make it possible for their drivers to make between $30,000 and $40,000 a year driving cab.
That's how it should be.
It should be. But, and there's other benefits that accrue with your time there as you get seniority. So there's other benefits that you get.
And some of them gave that up to keep this going during the pandemic.
Because they realized it was for all.
Yeah. It's crazy how far collective decision making can get us.
Yes, it is.